He's taking a rest in the restroom, as our producer has said. So Cooper Phillips, I believe this is his first nationals. Chad Phillips' son. He's a pretty young fella. I'm going to say no older than 11 or 12. So good for him for being here. Brandon Rose, another young guy. Camden Lime. I'm sure there's more in here. I don't know everyone. But we're going to let these guys kind of rock around, see what's going on for about 3 laps, and then we'll talk to them. Scott Cervelli is saying, I am with the fast guys, and I appreciate it, Scott, but yeah, I was a little off last round. Hopefully I can string together 3 laps that are a little bit less mediocre than the last 3 laps I strung together. They were not impressive. But I appreciate that. All right, so people are coming around for their first lap. We've got a car flying off the track and back on. We may be following Cooper Phillips. I don't know if we are or not, but I believe we are, as he is on his second lap. I'm impressed. I've watched some of his driving develop on the internet, courtesy of his father, and he's getting really good really fast, so good for Cooper. Maybe we'll do an interview here shortly. Brandon Rose out there. Really, really rough first lap for Brandon, so we'll see if he can get himself together and put in some solid laps. Fast lap so far looks to be a 34.8 from Mr. Austin Hughes, but no one's really sorted because we haven't gotten all the way to 3 laps yet, so we're still kind of waiting on that. The chat room is really excited for Brandon Rose. A lot of Texas guys in the chat room. They want Brandon to do well. He's been pretty much destroying the fields at every Texas race. So good for Brandon. He's having a really, really good start to the year, and he had a really, really good end to last year, running Serpent cars this year. So after 3, your top driver is Mr. James Calhoun. He's on a 146.3, which is good enough for 9th overall as we stand in race number 5. Then Austin Hughes 2nd, and Niko in 3rd. Then Benjamin Pinover and Brandon Rose in 5th. Fast lap of the race right now is still Austin Hughes with that 34.8. So personally, I'm not convinced that the track is faster this round. It does not look like it, but I guess I won't know for sure until I get out there on the track. And I think it has to do with not blowing the track off before Buggy started. They've been doing that for every other round, so I'm sure they didn't do that this time to save on time, but I think that has something to do with why the lap times are sagging. So even if I go the same speed this round and everybody else goes slower, I think I'll be happy. You know, it is what it is. But Austin Hughes jumping up into the first place spot. Fast lap 34.8. As we've talked about before, he's on a 145.2. Brandon Rose is on a 145.7. James Calhoun also on a 145.7. Camden on a 148.1. And Niko on a 150.9. So your top 3 are pretty close. Behind them, not so much. But it's really early on. They're only 5 laps in. Camden's only on his 4th lap. So we've got a lot of, not a lot, but a fair amount of racing ahead in this heat. Around 130 left to go. We are following Brandon around the track with his Serpent SRX-8 as he goes past a car. He has just jumped up to the lead on a 144.7 with a 34.5 fast lap. So Brandon is starting to get it figured out. A little bit of a rough run right at the beginning, but he's kind of collecting himself and seeing what he can do at this point. That's all you really can do. Buggy's got a lot of squat going around the track. It looks like it rides around on the back 2 wheels. But hey, you know, if it worked, it worked. It just looked kind of funny. Austin Hughes back up to the lead on a 144.3, fast lap of a 34.4. And Brandon Rose coming by on that time down to a 143.6. So Brandon and Austin Hughes swapping places as they come by each lap. Keep doing that, maybe they'll end up pretty high up there. Brandon Rhodes currently on a 5th overall for the round, right in front of Leon McIntosh and Shane Ogden. This run is about over, so everyone's going to come around, do their last couple of laps, and that'll be it. And Brandon Rhodes comes by on a 34.1, his fastest lap of the run. That's going to put him on a 1:43.0, and he will have one more lap. So if this one's any faster, maybe he can dip down into the 142s. We'll see. It's looking really promising as of right now, but he's got a car in front of him that's a little buck wild. That might be Cooper in front of him, actually. Ooh, almost not making the triple, Brandon. He kind of sticked it. Last lap, 35.5. So that's not going to help him out, but still not a terrible lap. So Brandon finishes it off on a 1:43.0. James Calhoun, 44.3, and Austin Hughes third on a 1:44.3 as well. So Brandon's going to be 4th overall, James Calhoun 8th, and Austin Hughes 9th. And now we're going to move into race 6. Heat number 6. Let these guys get off the track. Move the next couple of guys in.